Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in this week's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some November ideas that you can do during the distance learning phase, or if you are in person like I know many schools are. These are some things that you can do in the kindergarten classroom. This is part one of a two-part November kind of series. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the things I'm going to be doing in the beginning of November, and then in next week's video I'm going to be showing you more Thanksgiving themed activities that you can do in your classroom. So first things first, we are starting our pumpkin Fanatic unit. So I do have a few pumpkin activities that I'm going to share with you. So I remember when I was student teaching, I was told any art projects that you do should be infused with, you know, another content area, whether it's science, literacy, math, whatever the case may be. So I always keep that in the back of my mind when I'm doing a project, and I want to make sure that I'm not just doing a project just to do a project. I want to make sure that the projects that I'm doing are intertwined with a content area and that's building on other skills. I am going to be sending home this writing template frame, and it just says I see blank pumpkin. So the point of this is for them to, number one, trace, fill in the word with our new sight word, which will be A, and then we're going to be learning about the letter P. So I left this intentionally blank, and they're going to fill in the P on their own, whereas everything else they can trace. I also put the period at the end because that is a skill that we are working on. So yeah, that's that. And then what they're going to do is they're going to create their own pumpkin. Now the only thing I'm providing them with is this orange sheet here, and together, guided, I'm going to tell them, right, let's draw like the body of the pumpkin. They're going to rip this paper, and this is what they're going to glue for the orange, for the color of the pumpkin, and then they can draw the stem. We're going to talk about the vines and adding extra things. So this is going to be, I guess, this is a literacy and science activity. Right, so the next thing that we're doing, and I got this idea online, however I wasn't able to purchase the entire bundle just because of the price. So what I did was I just used PowerPoint, and I created this. So I used clip art for this and tied it with some yarn. What's inside a pumpkin by, and then when they open it, I have the sentence frames here that they can trace. I use KG primary fonts. So again, I would practice seeing some of our sight words. I can see the seeds, I can see the strand, and I can see the pulp, and they were going to be tracing that. So it has the vocabulary to label parts of the pumpkin, the seeds, and just some string that we're going to be using as the strands. Now, if we were in the classroom, this would obviously be a much bigger experience for the kids. They'd be touching the pumpkin beforehand, but because my school district is still in the virtual phase, everything has to be kind of like this. And because of the time that I spend virtually with the kids online are in short like chunks, it can't be anything that's too overwhelming, that requires too many steps, which is why I also include things like kind of pre-cut with very limited cutting for them to do at home, especially like if they're alone or if they're in a childcare center. Sometimes it's hard for them to kind of get that one-on-one support, so try to make everything, you know, easy for them. Now the next thing is from Primarily Yours. She does have a TPT store and a YouTube channel, and I got this idea from her. And so what I did was I purchased her product, and I'll link it below as well. And it's a shaped pumpkin. So we pre-cut the pumpkin for them. We added the template on the bottom, and the only reason why this isn't so child's created as far as the pumpkin is because we do have a limited math block with them. So I wanted to make sure that I focus on the counting aspect of it. Now if we were in the classroom, this could be like a 3-day project and stuff like that, but because our time is already so limited virtually, I need to take advantage of the time that we do get. So we've pre-cut the circles, squares, and triangles, and I'm going to show you what I used to cut out the circles, which I think is a must-have for teachers. And they're gonna just, you know, build their own jack-o'-lantern, and then we're going to count the shapes, write their name, and this is a cool, fun project that they can do about pumpkins, infusing the math. All right, so here's some of the other things that you can do in November. So I actually made this 10 frame out of popsicle sticks. I got this idea a few years ago off of Instagram. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my mini erasers. I got these at Target a few years ago as well. And I'm just gonna place a few up on here. And then, so if I have 3 pumpkins, then I expect them to say, or to write on their own whiteboard the number 3. Now the next thing that we're doing is I'm sending home a blank sheet and some paint in one of those little container cups with orange paint, and we are going to be doing pumpkin thumbkins. They're going to be using their fingers to make thumbprints that reflect the number up on the top, and then I'm going to have them add the stem and like kind of like a little vine for their pumpkin. Just a quick way, a more hands-on way to kind of practice counting decorating and infusing the whole pumpkin theme. So another pumpkin thing that I've been seeing a lot is the 5 pumpkins on top, and you can show the YouTube video to go along with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the kids cut this out, glue it on here. This does come with like the pumpkins that you can have the kids cut out and stuff, but I wanted it to be child created. So I'm going to send them different pieces of orange paper, and they're going to draw their pumpkins. I did do it in different sizes and stuff like that. And they're gonna draw their pumpkin, write the number on the pumpkin, cut out the pumpkin, and then put it on top of their little fence. And then I added a strip of brown so they can also add the stem. So we will also be working on the pumpkin life cycle. So what we're gonna do first is on a pocket chart, we're going to go over these life cycle cards. So for example, on the pocket chart, I, C. Now the original of this says A, but I just whited it out and added our sight word da. So I see the green pumpkin, and we're gonna kind of go over each one. This is a great way to practice not only the sequence of the pumpkin's life cycle, but to get in those sight word practices in there. And after that, together with me, we're going to do this together. So they're gonna color, cut, glue, simple activity. Now, to practice sight words at home, I'm going to be sending home some of these snap cube activities. I'm going to expect them to put it in a sheet protector, and using the cubes that we sent home early in September, they're going to create our new sight word A, and they're going to write it here on the bottom. I'm also going to be sending this home for other sight words. However, I need to be conscious that I only sent 20 snap cubes, which means that I can only send home words that have 20 cubes. So starting next week, we're going to be starting our new letter of the week, which is S, and I am trying to do those letter crafts. So this is one of them. We're going to create a snake using the letter S. Included a little white piece and a red piece, so we're going to be using this for the eyes. So I'm going to have them make their own eyes, cut their own eyes out, and also for the tongue. I'm also going to be giving them yellow paint, and they're going to just brush some strokes here of yellow, and I'm going to include what it looks like right up here. We're also going to be learning about the letter P. So what I'm doing is I am sending home, and I try to, this is so extra and it doesn't need to be this way, but whatever. So I'm going to send the kids home with a white sheet. We're going to read the 3 little pigs, and for the letter P, I'm going to have them I cut out 3 peas. They're going to glue it on here, and we're going to turn these peas into pigs like this. So we're just going to put 3 peas in reflection of the 3 little pigs. I included the 3 peas, some pink paper for the nose and stuff like that, and the ears, and white, and the white for the eyes. And all of this is inside of a Ziploc bag. It's attached to the paper. That way it's all together. So I shared this in another video, but I saved this from a Scholastic reader, and these are great. Again, I laminated it, and it's a super quick non-fiction text that has great pictures. So if you do have this subscription, I would recommend saving them, cutting them, laminating them, and keeping this as non-fiction text that you can read to your kiddos. Another idea, if you have these kind of little pumpkin trays available to you, usually I would do this as a center where I would give the students a number, and then they would show me the number of pumpkins inside of here. However, they're obviously not in person, so a great way to kind of adapt this, use materials you have in the classroom already, is if you place this onto the document camera, and you kind of have them, you can either put cubes under it, inside of it, and you can just have them write down on the dry erase board, show you with their fingers, jump that number of times. So if I have 3 cubes inside of the pumpkins, I would say, okay guys, let's jump 3 times. How many do you see? Write that on your whiteboard, write that on your dry erase board. So there's so many ways to infuse little things here and there that you would typically use in the classroom virtually. And definitely think that the document camera is super helpful. I know using your phone, even like raising the laptop down a little bit can help, so that way they can see it. Alright guys, so that's it for this week's video. Again, this is only part 1. I'm going to be sharing in another video some more Thanksgiving related activities that you can do with your kindergarten students during the distance learning or in-person phase of learning. So yeah, until next time guys, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.